it's B. I hope y'all are having a beautiful day. In this video, I am doing the line art to the sketches that I finished in the last sketchbook spread video. I will admit that I did not do the line art on the other side of the page because I attempted to paint that side because I like to do illustrations with paint as well as alcohol markers. So on the side that I'm currently working on, I did alcohol markers and you will see that video, but the painting side, I'll be honest, I really hated how it turned out, so I painted over it, so it no longer exists. And I can't show you the video because I don't have it. But if you guys would like to see a painting video in the future, I am definitely going to be posting one. So if painting is something that you're interested in, that is something that I do as well. I really was not happy with that video. I felt like it did not show my skill level at all. I felt honestly like I did worse than normal, like even on a bad day. So I decided not to post it, and maybe in the future I will decide to post the video even if I don't like it, but this time I decided against it and I didn't save the video, so I don't have it anymore to even post if you guys wanted to. So I kind of wish that I had saved it just as like a little sneak peek at like, hey, this isn't the best, but look, you know, it's okay. It's okay to mess up. But I didn't even think about it like that. I really didn't like it, and I didn't want to share it with anybody. I think that it's okay to share art that you don't like, though. I don't think that you have to feel like everything has to be perfect all the time. I know I said this in my last video, but art isn't about being perfect at all. It's uh, definitely a creative thing and not a perfection thing. Um, but you'll see that I do line art in this one, and I am using a Hoo line art liners. I am definitely glad that I saved at least this half of the video, uh, because I would hate for you guys to miss out on the line art, because I know that my sketches in the first video, they weren't really very clear. The faces weren't any amount, like they had zero detail. I hadn't put any detail in the faces in those sketches because I was just doing initial sketches to get the layout. So I am glad that you guys were able to see at least this half of the line art. I wish that I had, like, going back, if I could do it again, I would have added line art to the other half so that way you guys could have had uh, both spreads with line art. But because I had originally thought about painting the other half, I didn't add any line art because I wanted to add it at the end when I was done painting them. But the paintings turned out so bad that I didn't even line them. I ended up painting over it. Nothing in particular, literally just slapping some paint on there to cover it so I didn't have to look at it anymore. Because normally I would paint over it and keep trying to work on the characters and get them looking the way that I wanted them to, but the problem with gouache is you can't really build it up like that, and that's the paint that I was using, so anytime I tried to add new layers to fix the old, it would get all muddy and gross and just look worse, so I ended up having to give up on it. And sometimes I like to cover art that I don't like with other sheets of paper and draw new pictures over them, which is something that I definitely recommend if you really just cannot stand something that you've made. Just make something new on top of it. It doesn't have to be a big deal at all. But back to the video, I am almost done with this first character, and she is looking pretty good. Um, Also, you may have noticed that I still do very sketchy lines with line art. I am not a perfect uh, straight line, absolutely gorgeous every time kind of person. I am very much a messy artist. I don't know if that will change as I grow as an artist because I've grown a lot, and I will do a sketchbook tour of my old art if you guys are interested. But I I know I still have a long way to go, which I think most artists can probably relate to that. Uh, because I don't know if art's so much something that you really stop improving. I think you just get to a point where maybe you're happy with how things look, so maybe you don't change too much, but I don't know. I kind of think that art you improve, as long as you want to improve. I don't think that there's ever any point that you have to give up improving on art, even if you want a particular style. You learn more and you figure out how to do it in a better way. Or even, you might end up being a master at portraits, but you don't know how to draw a car. That's something else you could learn. There's so much growth that can be done in art. I like the character that I'm currently adding line art to. I like how her hair is. I'm a big sucker for bangs, and I also like that it pushed me to draw a side profile, which I don't do all the time. And I also like the movement. I feel like she, out of all of them, has more fluidity, even though some of them are in more dynamic poses. Like the one with the bow, she literally could be jumping in the air, but it doesn't read, it kind of more reads like she's floating for me, where the girl I'm currently lining, she looks like she's walking, and I really like that. I like that it turned out that way, and that I personally feel like I can see her movement. I also like how her hand turned out, the one that's draped down, not the one that's holding her shirt. The one that's holding her shirt is fine, don't get me wrong, but I don't draw hands a whole lot, so having that one that you can see well turn out, I like that. It makes me feel a lot better because I used to not draw hands at all, so actually drawing them now and them looking like a hand and not like a scary claw is really, it's nice. It's a bit of a confident boost. If you have trouble with hands, I definitely recommend practicing. I like to use my own hands as reference. I recommend using your hand as reference because I personally find it easier than looking at a picture because you can in person see the three dimension, whereas in a picture it's 2D, even though they're taking a picture of a 3D object. You're still not seeing the entire picture, you're not seeing all parts of the hand. Whereas when you're using your own hand, you can literally keep it in the same pose that you're working on and turn your hand to see different perspectives. I think taking pictures of yourself in poses that you can't find or can't, or like literally you might have a pose in your head and you might not be able to find a reference photo for it at all because it might be something really creative and unique. So not only can you take pictures of yourself in these poses, but something that I like to do when I really cannot find a good reference photo is I'll have my family, I will have them pose for me. I will be like, hey, I need this pose for this drawing. Can you act it out for me? Let me take some pictures. And they are all for it. They love to help me in my creative endeavors. So if you don't want to ask your friends or family to help you with posing, you can easily do it yourself. It doesn't have to be spectacular. You don't have to look like a supermodel or anything. You literally just need the pose. However, if you don't want to do a super unique or crazy extravagant pose that you can't find, you can always go to Pinterest and get poses just like this. I guarantee if you go on Pinterest, you can find every single pose that I used here because I got them all from Pinterest. They weren't like anything crazy that I searched up or anything. I was literally just looking for real people that I could reference. So I recommend using actual models and people when you do your reference photos because obviously you don't want to step on any toes using other artists' work. If you do reference other artists' work, that's okay in my opinion, but you just need to make sure that you give them proper credit because you don't want to step on any toes. You don't want to upset anybody, and it's not nice. It wouldn't make you feel good if somebody took your art without asking. So make sure that you let them know and tag them, and most people are understanding. There are some people who don't want you even referencing their picture, even if you credit them, and so you just need to watch out for that because you don't want to get in trouble with copyright or anything like that. And as far as I go, for future reference, as long as you tag me, I really have no issue with you drawing any of my characters, using any of the poses that I draw. Honestly, if you see a pose that I've drawn that you really like and you don't want to go hunt down the reference photo that I used, I don't care if you use that pose. I have no problems with that. You don't even have to draw, like, literally, you can draw your character in that pose and you don't have to stress about it. You aren't going to offend me. I have no issue with that because I know how difficult poses are, and I know how difficult they are to find and how difficult they are to execute. So if you like a pose that I have done and you want to copy it, as long as you aren't tracing my artwork, I have no problems at all. It doesn't offend me. You don't even have to tag me if you've drawn a different character, but I would really love for you to, because I would love to see it. I really love art. I really want to see you guys draw. I love watching art videos, and honestly, I don't have enough. I go through them so fast that I run out, and I don't want to rewatch the old ones that I've already seen. So if you guys have art accounts, please, please, please tag me. You don't have to tag me. Comment, let me know in the comments what your channel is, or if you have other accounts that do art, off of YouTube, anything like that. Please, please, please comment down below and let me know your art account username or whatever it is. Your website. I want to see all the art. Alright, we are getting towards the end of this video. I am lining the last character that I do in this video, and this one was probably not the hardest, but probably the second hardest. Uh, I'd say the hardest character out of this whole spread drawing would have been the girl with the bow, because that was a super dynamic pose, and I don't normally do really dynamic poses. I am really glad that I did, though. I love this sketchbook spread, not the end results, of course, because I ended up covering up the left side, but I loved drawing them, and practicing all these poses was really fun, and inking them was also pretty fun. I'm normally not big on inking. Like, it's not something that I hate doing, but it's not my favorite part of the process, obviously. But even on this particular spread, I really enjoyed seeing them. I, in my opinion, compared to what they were, they really came alive after the line art. So I like that. Yeah, I like that. It makes me happy that they turned out okay. And yeah, I like how they turned out. I'm happy with it, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be happy with how your art turns out. You don't have to be one of those sad, self-critical, never good enough artists. It's okay to appreciate your work. It really is. Don't make people feel bad. Like, don't let people make you feel bad about appreciating your own work. I know that there's like a big stigma around that kind of thing, and a lot of people feel like it's bragging, but I don't think it is bragging, because I never said that it was perfect. I just said that I like it, and that's okay. I hope that you guys enjoyed this too. I hope that you enjoyed not only watching me line these, but also my rambling. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and yeah, let me know in the future if you would like another sketchbook spread like this, or if you guys would like to change it up and me do like a super long video of me doing a spread and like maybe telling some stories or something. I don't have super long stories, but I could tell about my experience with my art teacher and things like that. They're not long stories, but you guys might enjoy them and find them relatable. I also want to thank you for watching and thank you for joining me. And if you drew along, I hope that you liked listening to this. I hope y'all have a wonderful day and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Bye!